from a market standpoint is Tata Comm. I mean, what a stellar comeback it's been for them. Same time last year, struggle, now revival and flourish. Amur Lakshminarayanan joins us, Managing Director and CEO of Tata Communication. Lakshmi, good morning. Thank you for joining us. What really has struck the right chords with the market is that you are aiming to double data revenue. But the CAGR growth in data revenue in last 5 years, in 3 years is about 6%. What gives you the confidence that you can grow at about 20% in the next 5 years? Because that means you are really seeing a lot of visibility going forward.
See, I think what we have laid out is an ambition for doubling our data revenue from the current 14,000 to 28,000. As you rightly called out, we have done 6% in the past. Last year, we did 10%. What gives me confidence are a few things. One is the market out there. There is a lot of things that are changing in the market with respect to the digital infrastructure itself. People have gone to the cloud. People are wanting to use the internet. Security becomes a big challenge. People don't today. The way the businesses communicate and interact with the consumers and their customers is fairly fragmented across multiple channels of SMS and voice and everything else. We have a solution which integrates all of that, make it more contextual, for example. And in the connected solutions, with respect to connected cars and connected devices, all of that portfolio that we have. In each of these portfolio, there is a market out there. We have been strengthening our products to play the platform story, and that is coming along quite nicely.
Right. Mr. Lakshminarayanan, now when it comes to your margin guidance that had been maintained at 23 to 25%, do you think that we can see operating leverage play out given that you did talk about your revenues as well doubling?
No, even the 23 to 25 would be challenging. I mean, if you thought the doubling the data revenue is ambitious, keeping this to 23-25% will also be ambitious. The reason I'm saying that is in our digital portfolio, we have a mix of products, right? So starting from what industry calls us a CPaaS, and we would like to think that's more of ours, slightly different with the customer interaction platform. And if you typically look at those margins would not be very high. If you look at the connected solutions, there the margin profiles are very different. In the next-gen connectivity with internet and others, that margin profile is different. So in each of the portfolio, and within those, the mix of the products, the margin profiles are very different, right? And therefore, it depends on which product is going to accelerate faster than something else. The mix will play a very prominent role in terms of, and that is why you saw in the last couple of quarters, as we raised our investments, the margin profile was declining. It's a function of both the investments that we made, and it's also a function of the product mix that is being taken to the market. And therefore, the mix and this will play an effect on the margin, therefore, will have a tendency to depress. And what we are working on is for each of these products to have a glide path to increase their own margins, right? And we are hoping that, and we are working on that as it increases and as the mix plays into effect, we can remain in the 23 to 25% range. So that's a broad answer. The mix effect, the digital margins being inherently low at the moment, and we have to work on increasing them. And these are the two factors that will play out as we scale the business.
Sure. Mr. Lakshminarayanan, currently what one is seeing is your leverage is at 1.3 times and you're guiding it to remain below 2x, right? So are you indirectly saying that debt could rise from 1.3 to 2?
Yeah, I think as I said, currently we are 1.3x. The point is we can even be at 2x and be comfortable. Our balance sheet will allow that. We will not be breaking any covenants. So we are just allowing a bit of more of elbow room for any investments that we have to make. I mean, for example, we did the Switch acquisition, which we closed a month ago. And that acquisition was all through the cash accruals internally. But we are looking at M&A opportunities as we go along. And we would know, and we are just setting ourselves that cushion room to be available to put that. And with 2x, we are saying that we would still be comfortable with the strength of the balance sheet and the ratings that we have.
Your Switch acquisition that you announced in December, this was the first inorganic growth for the company. How much will this acquisition then add to your top line and on the EBITDA front as well?
So I think we talked about the Switch, what the revenues are, and we would be, completely integrating, because that's a 100% acquisition. So we will be integrating that business. So that will give us a jump up. But the whole reason why we did that acquisition was in the media. We've been doing extremely well. So in the last year, we did 20,000 events, which are all live events, which are very exciting for millions, hundreds of millions of consumers who watch this across the TV and OTT platforms. So we are very excited to be part of that journey. But we've been playing largely in the global to global, as we call. It's a global sport and reaching global audiences. What Switch brings us is an ability to reach the regional sports, like the basketball, the football in the US, which are regional and consumed largely within the region. So that is a region to region segment. We did not have any presence there, and Switch enables us to bring a very solid presence in the US with a region to region presence. The second is it also brings the capability of production. Right. So, for example, when we talk about what we do for a Formula One or a Formula E, we have completely transformed their businesses. So, Formula One and Formula E, they used to bring production trucks wherever they go, country by country, and that was a huge expense. And now we are all, we are moving them to remote production. As it's like moving to a cloud. So we moved all that to a remote production. We carry all the signals across the world to a central production site, and from there we distribute it to hundreds of million viewers around the world.
Talk to us about the elbow room on balance sheet. Is this largely because of you looking at some acquisitions, or would you rather digest Switch first and maybe look at acquisitions after 12 to 24 months?
Today I think the company has acquired a great deal of rigor in execution. I mean, that's what we've been doing over the last 3 years. The rigor of execution has tremendously improved. So as we look for more opportunities, we will be very rigorous in evaluating those opportunities to see if that makes sense, and if it is the right opportunity. And if it is the right opportunity, then we would do it. Because the bandwidth available for us is across business unit, because media is a business unit and they have done one. Now, if you ask me, will I do another one within the media? I perhaps will not. I will wait for this to be integrated and digested, as you say, before we look at anything else. But there are other units which are functioning, which have a different product portfolio, and in those units we would be looking at. So partly what you said is right. We would allow this to digest within that unit before we look at anything else. But the other business units, we have the bandwidth and the ability to be able to look at opportunities as and when the right ones come along.
Sure. But there is also that surplus land, right, of 757 acres on your books. You did hint at some point that monetization plans are going to be on in your last meeting. What could be the value of this land parcel, and when could the monetization happen? Is it more of a near-term trigger or a longer haul story, you think?
No, it's both near-term and long-term. What I mean by that is, we don't have any, a set timeline as to when we will do what. A few things have to come together, right? So one is obviously the legal paperwork of titles being ready and all of that, and the land usage and so on. And the second is the right monetization opportunity for that property has to come along. And when these two come together, then we will execute on the monetization, right? So that is what we said that we will do. And we will do it. This timing has to be right. We have to make use of that fund when it comes to either, as I said, any cash that comes into the company, we'll use it to invest back. We will use it to pay down the debt. And those are the things that we would use this for. So it's really a question of all the paperwork coming together, the timing and the opportunity coming together, and that is what will dictate the pace of what we have to do here.
Right, Mr. Lakshminarayanan, great having you on the show today. Thank you so much, as always, for speaking with us.